Hello fiends, Mama here. I am someone who likes to make dumb live action parody videos. However, I always wanted to make opinion pieces on things I adore and love. So, my first ever opinion piece will be about a theme throughout Dark Souls which I love. Yeah, I am aware it came out in 2011, and I am 9 years too late. What did you expect? I'm a worthless human being, it says so in my description. But hey, better late than never. Anyway, let's get on with the video. Just a little warning, there will be spoilers about the game as well, and these ones too. So, just a heads up. Something I see often when individuals bring up the topic of Dark Souls is that it is a very difficult game. Yes, Dark Souls can be unforgiving. However, in my opinion, there's so much more to it than the difficulty. There are layers and layers of lore, which you could totally miss out if you do not read the item descriptions. Prepare to die? Nah, more like prepare to read. Like lots of reading. Nah, that's an understatement. Like tons of reading. How about the atmosphere of feeling alone when you travel across the world of Dark Souls? Or the NPCs who have their own dreams and goals to achieve. I could go on and on. Seriously, I could talk about Dark Souls for days, even weeks. It's a good game. However, in this video I'll be focusing on the thing I love the most about Dark Souls, which is the theme of illusion. To start off, let's first define what an illusion is. Here are the dictionary definitions. To put it simply, it is something that looks like one thing, but it turns out to be something completely different. The two simplest examples of this in Dark Souls are the illusionary walls that contain goodies in them, and minute chests that eat you for dinner when you open them. I must admit that minutes can eat me anytime, any place. Like, look at them move! So agile! Why are they so sexy? What's wrong with me? Let's move on to an example found early on in Dark Souls. It focuses on a very important bonfire in the game. It's the one in Firelink Shrine. It's important because many NPCs end up at Firelink. The location allows the player to cross to different areas of the game through shortcuts, and the music that is played gives a sense of comfort in a miserable, dying world. Firelink Shrine is the main hub for the whole game, meaning the bonfire there is hella important. But as much as the Firelink Shrine's bonfire is super dope, if you go down the stairs and look carefully, you see someone. That someone is called Anastasia of Astora, the Maiden of Ash. Her role is to keep the Firelink bonfire burning. She is a firekeeper. Yet look at her. She is behind bars. Her tongue has been cut off. And look at the way she sits. She's clearly not happy. Would you be happy if you were in her position? In my eyes, she is a slave who was forced to keep that bonfire burning. Higher powers put her behind bars, and when she voiced her anger, her frustration, her cries for help, they took away her tongue. They silenced her. They locked her away, left her there, all alone. I may know what you are thinking, but Mama, she is a firekeeper. It's her job to keep that bonfire burning. I agree, but let us look at the other firekeepers in the game, shall we? The other two in the game are Twilad's sister and my personal favourite, Dark Moon Nightis. Or I like to call her Night Tits. Get it? Because she's a woman? Tits. Ha ha ha. Wait, that wasn't funny? That was actually really bad? Okay, I apologize. And I really hate myself now. Moving on. They are not locked up behind bars. Their tongues haven't been cut off. They can speak freely. Yes, you do need the witch's ring for Twilight, sister. But she has a tongue, okay? She can speak. When I discovered Anastasia for the first time, it made me feel miserable. On my first playthrough, I did not notice her nor know what her purpose was. Until this brass twit was set free. And when I came to the realization, it brought my perception of the Firelink Shrine's bonfire. So you're telling me this bonfire that gave me warmth, safety, and comfort throughout the game was at the expense of this poor soul? In a way, when Luftric does that vile act, he frees Anastasia from her imprisonment. She is no longer burdened with keeping the bonfire burning. She is no longer behind bars. Also, in a way, it's poetic, since Luftric was locked away, but he can break free. Then he goes and sets Anastasia free. Of course, if the player allows him to. Furthermore, this piece of illusion has weight to it, in a game mechanics way. For the player to use the Firelink Shrine's bonfire, Anastasia must be alive. If Luftric has his way, then the player cannot use it until they do a list of things. It is kind of annoying, but nice armor set though, thinking face emoji. Worth it, maybe? Now I ask you, when you are given this opportunity to bring her back, do you? So, do you revive the Firekeeper and return her to her imprisonment? Force her again to keep the bonfire burning? First, it was higher powers who put her there. Now you? For what? A mechanic being restored? So you can always refill more Estus Flask? I think most players would bring her back, and I would too. That bonfire is very important. But knowing what the true cost to keep that bonfire burning, I would let Anastasia be freed and never brought back to serve behind bars ever again. No one should be forced into her position. No one. Before moving on, I want to share Anastasia's dialogue if you do choose to bring her back, since her tongue is restored.
Thank you. Thank you. I am Anastasia of Astora. Now I can continue my duty as a keeper. But I only hope that my impure tongue does not offend. I only wish I could repay you. Please, forgive me. Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak.
Listen to how she speaks. Does she sound like someone who is happy? Now I ask you, was it worth it? To bring her back? To endlessly serve as the Firekeeper again? She's in pain. She's in misery again. All because you want to use your precious bonfire. How disgusting. You selfish demon. But in the end, that is her job. To make sure that the bonfire keeps on burning. How's that? I bet you weren't expecting one of the early bonfires to have an illusion in it. Let us now talk about a NPC named Soler of Astora, who is interwoven with an illusion. When you interact with him, He is lovely and sweet towards you. A friendship is made. It's adorable. But then he mentions something about a son?
Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
Whoa. He just said he wants to seek his own son. That's so ridiculous! Like, how will he get one? Where will he put it? What type does he want? How much does a son cost? Who can he buy a son from? Last time I checked, sons are not an everyday item. You cannot put them in your pockets. He purposely went undead to seek a son. How is he going to catch one anyway? Maybe with a Pokeball? Perhaps I may be asking too many questions and I'm overreacting here. Maybe seeking your own son is not as ridiculous as it sounds. So I decided that I was going to try and seek my own son. I also chose to tell this to my best friend. I love my bestie. She's one of the most important person in my life right now. She's supportive, caring, and she will always be there for me. Also, she's hella cute too. Very cute. She'll deny it, but trust me, she's cute. By the way, bestie, if you are watching this video, hi. Teehee. So I told her, I want to seek my very own son. Will you support my important life decision? Her response was, that's a bad idea, thinking face emoji. What if you find the wrong son? She's 100% right. However, if there is a will, there is a way. People, a sun is super hot. It burns. Your skin starts to melt when you touch it. Anyway, I think that seeking your own son is really foolish. Please don't try and seek your own son. It's not good for your health. Back to the topic at hand. So there goes far and beyond to seek his son. Not to mention giving you a helping hand in boss fights if you ever need it. In your quest, you see and interact with Sever quite a lot. You spend time with him, bond with him, join the Sun Covenant, maybe, and start to have feelings for him too. So there's a cute boy. I love him. We all love him. However, when you progress forward into the game, Sever starts to question if he will find his son. If he was a fool to even go after his dream. It really saddens me seeing someone who was so motivated at the start, but losing hope to achieve their dream. What happens next depends on the player. You have two choices. The first choice is that you could let Sever be consumed by the sunlight maggot. And then he has fully embraced his illusionary dream of seeking his own son. This is horrible, sad, and heartbreaking. Sever you once knew goes insane and starts to attack you. Once he is defeated, his son fades away and he cries in pain. So much pain.
Finally, I have found it. I have. My very own son. I am the son. I've done it. I have. Yes, I did it. I did. Oh. 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 It's over. My son. It's setting. It's dark. So dark.
It really, really hurts just thinking about this choice, but it's the only one where he finds his son, even if it's a fake one. Well done, Solaire. You did it, friend. You found your son. You should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. Alternatively, with the second choice, you could save Solaire from the Sunlight Maggot and help him break through the illusion of seeking his own son. Of course, this leads to him getting very upset about the situation, and it does hurt to see him like this. However, he is no longer burdened to find a son now. Since you saved him, you can summon him when you fight Lord Gwyn, and in my eyes, this means that Solaire has formed a new goal, a new purpose in life, which is to help his friend that he made a long time ago. You met at the start of the game, and now you end the game together. Fun fact, till this day, every time I see Solaire's summon sign, I always, without hesitation, summon him. I love Solaire so much. I want to hug him. Someone please make a mod where we can hug Solaire. Solaire is special because his quest is all about his false/illusionary dream, and whether he breaks through it or not depends on the player's choice. The end results are very emotional. His fate is in your hands. I simply love how even the NPC has an illusion in their quest. It's really amazing. So, let us tackle a biggie and talk about the notion that Dark Souls is hard. It's no surprise that Dark Souls is known for how difficult it is. Just look at this marketing trailer for the game. It goes boom! Ah! It's so intense! You are going to die so many times. Oh no! There was also this ad I used to see a lot. And you guessed it, it's all about the hardness of Dark Souls. Like, OMG, Dark Souls, your hard bone is sticking out. Please, put that in your pants. I also think due to other influences such as YouTubers and news outlets, or Souls-like, there has been an illusion formed that Dark Souls is a super tough game and you are going to lose and you will never best it. It doesn't sit right with me, because Dark Souls is more than that. I feel like I need to add a personal story about someone I knew very well. They were introduced to Dark Souls, and they were aware of its hard reputation. They received the game, and within a week, they returned it. Dark Souls made them uncomfortable due to the difficulty of the game, and the whole experience was upsetting for them. It was a shame because they were so excited to share their experience and fully explore the world of Dark Souls. Dark Souls is beyond the difficulty. The game itself has so much to offer. So with that being said, I have over 6 years experience of playing Dark Souls under my belt. So I'm going to share some fabulous techniques to make the game super easy. Time to break this illusionary wall of difficulty down. The first technique is knowledge. Yes, I'm saying knowledge is important if you want to best Dark Souls. To give you an example, in Yolanda Ruins, there are these ghosts that appear to be almost immune to all attacks. Oh no! What can we possibly do? Who's going to save us? These ghosts are going to eat us alive! Have no fear. When inside Yolanda Ruins, you can pick up an item called the Transit Curse and read its description. You learn that in order to fight a ghost, you have to be cursed. Of course, you can learn this piece of information through experience, or my personal favourite way, through Don Hall of Xena. You see, when you trade with him, he can give you very useful information. I wish FromSoft gave him more voice lines. He is a cutie, and his info are really useful. For the case of the ghosts, he tells you need to use a special weapon to fight them, or to be cursed. Furthermore, he'll even suggest a way for you to be cursed, by interacting with a ballist. Personally, I don't recommend this, but I think the idea was, get cursed, go through Yolanda Ruins, meet with Idward, give him a humanity, and he will remove your curse. Now, that sounds really tedious, because the whole cursed thing makes you lose HP, But desperate times means desperate measures? Now that you have the knowledge and understanding of how the ghosts work, you can prepare yourself before encountering them. Those ghosts don't stand a chance against you now. Continuing talking about the NPCs, if you stop and listen to them, they can also give you information, such as the male undead merchant and the undead bird. If you talk to him, he'll mention the dangers that are nearby, such as the Kappa demon, the Taurus demon, and a flying drake.
Here, I'm not here to chit-chat. We talk business or we talk nothing at all. Things are getting treacherous in these parts. A horrible goat demon has moved in below, and up above there's that humongous drake and a bull demon too. If you stick around this place, it might end up being your grave.
Now that you have the knowledge that there are dangerous foes nearby, you should have the mindset of, I should step carefully and get ready for a big encounter. To add another example, Patches tells you that a certain someone is actually a murderer. Moving on from NPCs, you may be wondering, will I mention Blighttown? Oh my god, Blighttown is so bad. It's one of the worst areas of the game. It's so cheap. To be blunt, it's just watching your footing, but more importantly, poison and toxic management. Now, I am aware that it's easier said than done. But just avoid being toxic, you dirty, filthy demon! Another aspect of knowledge comes from learning how the enemies and bosses act. Once you understand how they fight, then you can respond back and counter them. In a way, it's more of a dance than a fight. A classic example of this would be the boss fight with Kitty Cat Ornstein and Thick Boy Smooth. One is tiny and speedy, but the other one is big and slow. Now prepare to dance. You must keep an eye on both of them, wait until you find an opening, and then attack. When one takes a bow and says their goodbye, the other grows and their performance blossoms. Now you must dance around a new threat. You cannot run up to them and attack them carelessly. You will get shut down. Learning is the key to defeat Dark Souls. This process of learning does take time, however, do not give up. No matter how scary a boss is, or cute, you can do it. Side note, in Dark Souls 3, there's a boss called the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. She dances in the boss fight. It's really adorable. How about the Iron Golem? He's so huge! Kind of scary too. Remember though, learning is key. When you first see him, the gut reaction is to find a place to attack him. What do you see? His heels. But be aware, the Iron Golem wants to make you dead. And you notice the area you're fighting in is small. If your dance is aggressive enough, you can discover that he can lose his footing, and then his balance. Time to test your knowledge. Let the performance begin. You approach the Iron Golem, avoiding his heavy swings, and you aim for his heels. You poke and poke, yet swiftly invading its mighty wrath. The Golem loses its footing, and his dance has halted. Your eyes are locked onto the edge of the stage. It's time to steal his spotlight. With one last swing, the Iron Golem falls off stage. The performance ends. Bravo. Of course, there are many alternative ways of besting the Iron Golem. To name two, you'd summon a Tarkus to help you. Just summon Tarkus and he does all the work. A lesser known method is to use some dirty dancing with the demon's Great Hammer. That's right baby, use your dirty, dirty hammer on him. Side note, I'm blushing just looking at the demon's Great Hammer. It's so big, and it's so hard. My apologies, I was distracted for a second. Moving on, in Dark Souls, you'll be put into many situations, and you must use the knowledge you have gathered to determine the best outcome. So for this example, I want to use the Tomb of the Giants. When you enter the area, you notice instantly that it's super dark. I'm afraid of the dark. It's scary. It's very scary. If you're like me and you wish you were dead, simple, just go through this area without a light source. But you have to be alive to beat the game, so let's not do that. The options to produce light are the Scroll Lantern, Sunlight Maggot, and Cast Light. Remember, it's not just about producing the light, but how and at what cost. In my eyes, out of the three options, some are better than others. By far, the one that puts you in the most vulnerable position would be the Scroll Lantern. It requires you to equip it as if it was a shield. Then you must hold down the block button to lift it up. Then you have your light source. This is just horrible. It's not a constant light source either. The idea of just lifting it up to get your light source is just tedious. Plus, if you want to roll away, it will put out the light source, leaving you in the pure dark. How about the sunlight maggot? It's a helmet, so all the player has to do is wear it. This gives the player more freedom, since the burden of holding the block button constantly is no longer there. However, I saved the best till last, which is cast light. It does have stats requirement, however it does offer the brightest of lights, and it gives you full control of your equipment. It gets points for being cute as well. Just look at it go on top of your head. Adorable. So, just say the magic words. Let there be light! Unless you're not a magic user, then sucks to be you. I want to add that you can choose whichever one you want. You could go in there butt naked with no light if you want to. My point is that the game offers you different methods to handle different situations, and it's up to the player to decide which one is suited for them. Of course, on someone's first playthrough, they may not know everything, but Dark Souls is very replayable. When it comes to learning about the game, the sky is the limit. What have we learned? With knowledge gained through experience and reading will result in a better understanding of Dark Souls. With a better understanding, your time of Dark Souls should be much more smoother. Hopefully. I cannot speak for anyone but myself. With knowledge, the game should become easier. Just go to the wiki page and start reading it. Dark Souls is a reading game. Prepare to read! Plus, you can also learn about the game's lore. I must come clean with the whole knowledge thing. Sure, it can be useful and awesome, but it's not foolproof. Sure, you have all the knowledge now, but the game will still eat your butt for breakfast. There is a foolproof, super secret technique that makes everything in Dark Souls redundant. It breaks the game. Prepare to die? Nah, prepare to have a peaceful, relaxing and lovely time. What is this technique, you may ask? Let me tell you, come to me. Come. It's magic! Just use magic! The intro cutscene has magic and it's powerful! It's all about magic! Just make a magic build! Why is magic the foolproof method? Why does magic take away the difficulty? Why does it spank Dark Souls' butt? I wish I was spanked in the butt too. So, before I talk about magic, I need to talk about another playstyle, so then I can compare it to magic. Due to the bulkiness of armors and weapons and all the different combinations a player can do, such as starting class and leveling, there's simply too many builds to compare to. There's too many. I would be here for hours and hours talking about every single build and their differences. So instead, I want to compare magic with one of the most common playstyles, which is a sword and shield style. To explain this style, you'll mostly be doing is blocking, parrying, dodge, and attacking. And this could be different depending on the player. Some may want high defense at the cost of speed, some may want speed at the cost of defense, and so on and so forth. Plus there are alternatives that have no shields which focus on dodge alone, which I personally love a lot. Something that these playstyles have in common is something I like to call blood for blood. Let me explain. Due to the playstyle, you must be close enough to the enemy to deal damage, but this means they are within range to deal damage back at you. Technically, you may not lose health, or get hit once at all, which means you have to learn how to handle each encounter. See what I did there? I called back to knowledge. However, regardless, there is always a risk that you will take damage. Now, I am aware that there are gods out there who do no hit runs, and that's so amazing. But I think I can say that most of us would not be able to pull that off. There's even a build called the Glass Cannon, which promotes you to only buff your damage. You kill everything with one shot, but you get taken down with one shot. Regardless of the variation of this playstyle, there's always that chance that you will take damage, especially with bosses being in their face, heel or butt just to attack them. Now, I'm not trying to hate on this style. I love Glass Cannon builds. I love doing so much damage, yet my heart is racing knowing that I could die instantly. Plus looking at those big, hard swords in action makes me excited in my pants. Oh no, why am I so lewd? But with magic, you don't have this blood for blood in place. Unlike swords, with magic, you have range. You can use magic at a distance. That's epic. All you gotta do is keep your distance and pow! With good footwork and timing, your enemies will fall before you. Even bosses! Speaking of bosses, let's talk about Kitty Cat Orenstein and Thick Boy Smood again. This boss fight plays out so differently depending if you use a sword or magic. This clip I'm showing you right now is from a YouTuber called Fighting Cowboy who summoned Sever and is using a greatsword against them. The Black Knight greatsword, by the way. Oh my god, just look at those stats! I'm getting excited again!
Oh, so beautiful. I didn't want to do a strength character, but I think I'm gonna do a strength character now.
I'm not trying to downplay Cowboy here. Cowboy does an excellent job. However, look at the risk they're taking. Being in Smood's and Orestein's face. All that dodging. They even get hit a few times. He ends up using a lot of healing. Now, I want to say it again, he does an excellent job. Now, let's look at this user who uses magic on Orestein and Smood. You have the safety of range. They can't hurt you if they can't reach you. What's amazing about this is magic makes all the bosses so useless against you. But keep in mind, there are bosses like Gwyndolin who use magic themselves who like to keep their distance from you. They can be annoying to fight. Oh, I will be mentioning Gwyndolin again. I love Gwyndolin. He's my husband, and you cannot have him. He belongs to me. I won't be going over how to make magic builds here. There's so many. And this isn't a how-to video. I encourage you to look at some guides and videos that teach you more about magic. I'll also put some links down in the description which I think are very useful. Prepare to research. Remember, magic turns Dark Souls into Easy Souls. Wait a second, do you hear that music? Magic is upon us! Oh no, stay away, stay away!
Yeah.
Run home to Mama! We are killers!
Body language had me hotter than a stolen Jeep. Cool me off, baby. I need a nice pack. The way she bend it over and touch your toes, I really like that.
To conclude this section with the individual I mentioned earlier, spoiler alert, that was me. Back in 2012, when I was young and dumb, a friend at the time introduced the game to me. They lent me their copy of Dark Souls and told me good luck. The game was so intimidating, it was so difficult, it made me uncomfortable, it made me upset, to the point where I even cried. I said to my friend, no, I'm not having fun, this is too much. Take it back. However, they did not give up on me and offered to be my personal guide. They would teach me to read item descriptions, be more wary of my surroundings. They even misguided me, such as telling me to enter the arena to start the fight of the Four Kings, you had to strip all your armor and weapons and fight them by punching them to death. Haha, that was so mean. Thanks to their guidance, I had probably one of the best experiences with Dark Souls ever. Years later, I now know where almost all the items are located, play through different builds and how all the bosses function, understand the lore, know all the shortcuts, where the illusionary walls are, etc, etc. What I'm trying to say is, I feel very confident knowing the insides and out of Dark Souls. I need to say this, but I'm awful at video games. I'm not trying to show off, yet embracing, understanding, truly learning Dark Souls. The game isn't difficult. On the surface, Dark Souls looks hard and scary, But you can break the illusionary wall of difficulty down and discover that Dark Souls isn't that hard. It's quite easy actually. Yeah, I mean it. Dark Souls is not difficult. It's easy. And if Dark Souls is still difficult for you, just use magic. Serial, it's so broken. It makes the game so easy. Oh, before we continue with the video, if you fiends want to hear the whole story of my first ever experience of playing Dark Souls, I could post a video on my second channel. Only if you want to hear it though, or if my best friend asks me to. For serial, if my bestie wants me to make it, it shall be done. But who wants to hear a story from a worthless femboy? Not me! Ha ha! I hate myself. When thinking about endings, we consider, is it a happy one or sad? Is it a good one or bad? So on and so forth. However, with Dark Souls, it takes an interesting approach. Let me briefly explain the endings. The player has two choices. You either burn yourself to let the Age of Fire continue, or you choose to be edgy and you let the fire die out, which starts the Age of Man. At first glance, these endings are very apparent. Fire is good. Darkness is bad. However, it's not that simple. The endings are complex. In the game, there are some NPCs that nudge the player to go for the fire ending. This hideous looking snake, and Guinevere. Spoiler alert, she died a long time ago. That's actually a puppet, created by Gwyndolin. Don't worry, my love, I will get to you soon. Just wait a little longer. They tell you it's your destiny, and you are the one who becomes Lord Gwyn's successor. They tell you to keep the Age of Fire going, because it's the good thing to do. Side note, you also learn that Lord Gwyn did everything in his power to keep the Age of Fire continuing, to the point where he even goes mad. This also emphasizes the importance of the Age of Fire. Personally, I adore Lord Gwyn. He's a good person. You see him in the intro cutscene of the game. He's fatherly, powerful, and a strong leader. In a way, we become inspired by him. We look up to him. Just look at that smile. He's smiling at you. He truly warms my heart. His presence alone makes me happy, makes me feel comfortable, makes me feel safe. Yet the Age of Fire ending could be one massive lie. There is a snake boy hidden in Dark Souls. His name is Darkstalker Carth. He tells us that Lord Gwyn, who is known as one of the most powerful beings in the world, is actually a coward. He explains that Lord Gwyn didn't continue the Age of Fire because of love or compassion. He was actually a desperate, selfish fool who could not live in a world of darkness. Mr. Darkstalker then explains that after the Age of Fire, the Age of Man is born. However, this can only happen when the Age of Fire dies out and darkness consumes the world. Then Carth even ties everything up with a bow, saying you are the true Lord. You should follow in your footsteps of your ancestors and become the Dark Soul. This is very conflicting. Some say Age of Fire is the way. One says the darkness is the way. Lord Gwyn was powerful, admirable, inspirational. No, Lord Gwyn was a coward, a fool. Yes, light the fire. No, embrace the darkness. Wait. There's still more to learn. Cave says it's time for the world to embrace the Age of Man. But is it really the Age of Man? In the Dark Souls DLC, there is a town called Urasu. The town has been embraced by the darkness. Now, please tell me, does the people of the town look good? Nope. They all gone mad. And their bodies are all twisted. Okay, maybe in Dark Souls universe, this is the age of man. However, Mr. Darkstalker is being deceitful to you. He never once mentioned about the town to you. In my opinion, I adore Darkstalker. He seems genuine and honest, but this age of man he's promising is not what you think. Alright then, we go with fire. No, we know that fire goes out. All fire goes out. Even if you choose the Age of Fire ending, that fire will go out. Then what happens after? You followed in Lord Gwyn's footsteps and became the hero, and you chose fire. Everyone is happy. Joy to the world. Peace and love. Not really. The world is still broken. What, you thought lighting yourself on fire would fix the world? Don't be a fool. How would you know if this would work? Sure, the fire goes on, but one day, the fire's out. So please tell me, what do we do now? You lit the fire, the Age of Fire continues, but now it's gone. The fire's gone. Tell me, what do we do? What happens next? Seems to me that the Age of Fire ending is worthless after all. The endings are nothing more than illusions. It's nothing but lies. My views on the endings changed over time. When I was younger, Age of Fire was the way. Why? Hope. Hope that the world keeps going. Hope for new life to be born. Hope that happiness and peace can be achieved. As I grew older, it hit me. The Age of Fire is hopeless. The Age of Fire had its time. What was made in that age was beautiful. I will not argue that, but in the end, all things die, and so does fire. Every single living creature dies alone. Maybe it's time to embrace a new age. Perhaps more beautiful creations will spawn. I grew to appreciate the darkness ending. It's beautiful. I'm going to be a bit personal here. I'm afraid of the dark. I do not want this world to fall into darkness. The whole game promotes the idea of fire. I cry when I see Lord Gwyn. I see myself in him. I want to hug him. I truly believe he was a coward. What he did was selfish, but I don't blame him at all. Fire gives us light and warmth. It comforts us. Each bonfire is a beacon of hope. Hope to carry on in our journey. It gives us strength. It gives us confidence. It motivates us. The idea that the world could fall into darkness is depressing. It's sad. No, we can't fall into darkness. No. But I want to be cynical. I want to be honest. Hope is just an illusion. It was never there. It's foolish to think there was any. There's no hope. No hope at all in this world. In the end, we know one thing. Only darkness remains. You can try to resist it, sure, but in time, it will devour you. Devour us all. Just thinking about a world in darkness makes me nervous, scares me. I'm afraid of the dark, but maybe it's not so bad. Maybe the darkness brings happiness. Maybe we should embrace it. Maybe things will be okay. One can only hope. Hope is all we have. I hope so anyway. Even if that makes me a fool. It's both amazing and depressing to think about what the endings mean. That's the beauty of it. The endings are not simple. There is no happy ending. Only the player decides what they think is right. So much of Dark Souls is embedded with illusions. I love it so much. I love it. Side note, I am aware that the endings are expanded upon in the sequels. However, I have little interest in those games. Personally, I just want to focus on what the endings mean in Dark Souls 1. I do apologize, but I just simply don't care about the sequels. When it comes to illusions, throughout Dark Souls, I have given different examples and explained them. My next example, in my eyes, is the biggest one. Irony of that, he's actually really tiny. This example represents the whole theme of illusions throughout the game. I love him the most in Dark Souls. He is beautiful. He is Gwyndolin, the Dark Sun. He's my husband, by the way. I get very passionate about him. He's mine. I have no plans to share him. Okay, maybe a little bit. Just a tiny bit. What? I get very protective, okay? I want to keep my cutie pie Gwyndolin safe. If he falls, I fall too. No one believes him, or else I'm gonna get all mean and tough. I will grrr and make grumpy faces at you. No one messes with my Gwyndolin. Before I go on, just by saying his name alone, some people will be like, I know Gwyndolin, he is very feminine. This led to the game fooling people into thinking he was a girl, but then they discovered, he was a boy? Nani? When I first discovered Gwyndolin, I never thought he was a woman. He's a male, and he's feminine. Yet there were some people who thought he was actually a girl. So I guess that counts as an illusion? To get this out of the way, here's a video of someone misgendering him.
The Dark Sun Gwyndolin boss fight. I have armor on that is going to have the absolute highest magic resistance that I can have, because all of her attacks are magic. Is that when you get close enough to her, she does that little teleportation move. Can actually attack her. So like when you're she has 3 basic attacks. She has that kind of like bullet attack, and they all do a huge amount of damage out of the way of, and then she has that huge to look for when she's going to throw the different attacks at you. Don't bother sprinting until you get close enough to her, just because for when you get close to her and you want to get as many chops into her as possible. Get a couple chops in on her faster. Dodging her attacks, to get away from her attacks. How to fight her if you want. Gwyndolin was the huge-breasted chick that you got after killing, or that you talked to after killing Ornstein and Sma.
Before moving on, just a reminder that Gwyndolin is super cute. I could smooch him and cuddle him forever and ever. Okay, why does Gwyndolin represent illusions in Dark Souls? First, we must talk about Enorlando and Guinevere. When you see Enorlando for the first time, it's sunny and magnificent. This is surprising. The Age of Fire is going to die off, and the world is going mad. Yet, Enorlando seems peaceful and lovely. To top it off, you encountered Guinevere, who is sweet, gentle, and loving towards you. In a way, Enorlando and Guinevere give you hope in your journey, and make you say, hey, this place is pretty nice. Now, this is where my cutie pie Gwyndolin comes in. It's all one huge lie. Enorlando is actually covered in darkness. There's no sun at all. Gwyndolin made you think Enorlando is all sunny. Not to mention, Guinevere is a lie too. This is all Gwendolin's doing. She's nothing more than a puppet made by Gwyndolin. Wow, what's a little snake? Ha! I just said snake! He has snakes for legs! That's sexy as hell! Or does he? More on that later. There are 2 ways to discover Gwendolin's presence. The first is wearing the Dark Moon Seance ring. This will allow you to join the Blade of the Dark Moon, and fight Gwyndolin if you desire. This is the boring way, in my opinion. The alternative way has a lot to offer, and gives a whole new perspective to the player. To do this one, you must attack Guinevere. She cries, and this happens.
Thou that tarnisheth the Godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin. And thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
Darkness rises, and you've made yourself the enemy of the blade of the dark moon. Anor Londo's sunlight gave you comfort, warmth, and hope. Now you see what it really is. It hits you like a boulder falling down the stairs. One big lie, including Guinevere's big chest. I bet a lot of people fell for those too. The Age of Fire is fading away, and Gwyndolin is so desperate he tries to trick you to make sure it keeps on going. You have torn through the illusion he placed on you. No matter how much he can cover up, the world is going to be devoured by the darkness. This is just sad. Very, very sad. Anor Londo is one of my favourite areas. It made me appreciate the sun. It gave me joy. It's one of the few areas of the game where I felt happy. I felt safe. To discover even Anor Londo is falling into darkness, it's upsetting. It's heartbreaking. It also told me so much about Gwyndolin with very little words. What he did was sneaky. He tries to trick you, but he's filled with so much pain. He is the last living child of Lord Gwyn. His father has gone mad. Gwyndolin is neglected, and he's all alone. He has to carry alone his father's legacy. Clearly, he adores and loves his father. He does protect his father's tomb. No one can enter it. But his father stole so much from him. No child should have the weight of the world on their shoulder. He took his own child's freedom. He cares and adores for the so-called Age of Fire. But he has no care for his own children. I personally can empathize with Gwyndolin. It's painful for a child to be neglected by their own father. I truly believe that Gwyndolin has the saddest story in Dark Souls. Poor, sweet Gwyndolin. I give you my heart. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to bear fate. It hurts me so much seeing you all alone. I really care for you, Gwyndolin. The saddest part of this whole situation, some people don't even know he exists. Not knowing his pain. My sweet Gwyndolin. I really want to hug you, keep you safe, make you happy. I get very emotional talking about him, and it makes me cry. I love you, Dark Sun Gwyndolin. You will never be forgotten. Your story will always have a place in my heart. No one will ever replace you, my sweet prince. I love the details in Gwyndolin's boss fight, both the uniqueness itself and the area. The hallway you fight in looks like it goes on forever and ever, which further reinforces the theme of illusions that surrounds him. When you approach him, he does a disappearing act, and then reappears further away. This adds confusion, since the question is asked, is that really him? Even when you best him, did he really die? Or is that itself another trick? He is a god after all. He can make anything appear or disappear. Even the snakes that appear to be his legs. Begs the question, are those real? Maybe he has human legs, but to try and somewhat be intimidating, he makes you think he has snake legs. If that's the case, it makes the situation cuter because he could have made anything to try to intimidate you. It kind of makes sense though. He is tiny and feminine after all. Still, little snakes to try and scare the player? He's such a cutie. I would like to add, when Gwyndolin gets all pissy with you and starts sending the Blade of the Dark Moon on you, it represents how the Blade of the Dark Moon Covenant functions. The act of killing Gwynevere is sort of like a player invading another player who did them no wrong, and then being marked in the Book of the Guilty. You invaded Orlando through the Batwing demons, making your way through, breaking into buildings, reaching to Guinevere. She does no harm to you. You attack her. You are guilty. I think it does a really good job of displaying the Covenant's duty. Yes, technically Guinevere is fake, and it's all Gwyndolин's doing, but he technically did no harm to you. His closest companion, the Dark Moon Knights, even offers you aid. Gwyndolin is not your enemy, only if you make him one. I love that detail. If you do choose to attack Guinevere, that makes you a demon. A vile, horrible demon. Or someone who wants a Gwyndolin achievement, or is doing a speed run, or all bosses run, etc. I'm not here to judge. You can do what you want. This also kind of applies to the cute crossbreed as well. Personally, I protect the ones I love, including Gwyndolin. The idea of hurting others is horrible. I never liked invading other players' worlds. I could not bear the guilt of going to someone's world who has done me no wrong and ruined their day potentially. Gwyndolin and his cause are too important to me. I am the servant of the Dark Sun Gwyndolin. Married too. He's my husband. I love him so much. He belongs to me. I would like to add that Gwyndolin is a secret. Most people will not even know he was in the game. That adds to how beautiful he is. In my eyes, it's one of the best secrets ever in video games. This type of secret found in an action RPG is very rare. To this date, I have never found a secret in other video games, let alone action RPGs, that even compares to this. It shows how much care and love went into it. I know this may change in the future, and I may be wrong, but I do not think there will be a secret like this ever. A small detail I want to add. Gwyndolin goes so far that he even makes a Covenant called the Princess Guard to really try his best to trick you into thinking Guinevere is real. Once you break the illusion, it becomes impossible to join or rejoin it again. Dark Souls is filled with illusions, one thing that turns out to be something else. Gwyndolin represents this. The world of Dark Souls is not black and white. It's not just a very difficult game. There's so much to explore and learn, themes and ideas, characters and quest lines. It's beautiful. Gwyndolin is beautiful, Guinevere is beautiful, Orlando is beautiful, the music is beautiful, the NPCs are beautiful, the world is beautiful, the bosses are beautiful. I could go on and on and on. I love the theme of illusion in Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls.
This will be the part of the video where I would say my conclusion and my goodbyes. However, since I am the worthless trash I am, I thought ahead. Most of my videos have been previewed by Veselekov. He's my senpai, rival, lover, and inspiration. Without any doubt, when he sees this, he would tell me, "Crikey, Mama! Aren't you gonna talk about Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2 and 3, and Bloodborne?" And my response would be, why should I? Yes, they're all part of the FromSoft tree line, however, I believe they all had different ideas and goals. FromSoft planned every single detail when it came to the first Dark Souls. They purposely added these trickery and deceptions like illusions for the players to encounter, and they've done it masterfully. I also believe when it came to Demon Souls and Bloodborne, they also put the same amount of detail and care into those games. But not so much when it came to Dark Souls 2 and 3. However, I have no intentions of making illusion videos for the other games, so it wouldn't hurt to talk about them here.
In Dark Souls 2, there are the Moonlight and the Blue Moon Greatsword. This caught me off guard. It's no secret that FromSoft has included the Moonlight Greatsword in their games. It's a fan favourite. It's both strong and pretty. Dark Souls 2 uses these swords and tricks the player. Both greatswords look alike. When you read the description for both greatswords, they reference a white being, but one is lifeless. Oh no! One is a fake! To get the fake one, you may have even killed Benhart. You demons! My Veselekov Senpai in his Dark Souls 3 video talks about these great swords. I agree with him. By adding a fake, there's more speculation about the sword itself being real. Maybe it's a legend, maybe it's made up. I do not find it difficult to believe that people would have made a fake. I love this concept so much. It's also a commentary of the world we live in. There are myths and legends out there. They are not real, yet people create fakes. Then the question is asked, are the fakes real, or do they become real? Just because something is fake does not mean it's bad. To name one example, there are some people who love a nice, thick, juicy sausage, but they don't have any. So they buy a fake one, called an eggplant. I want to say that I don't have the answers to these questions, it's just questions that popped up when I was thinking about it. And that came from a fake greatsword in Dark Souls 2. That's pretty neat actually. My next example on paper is super dope, but in execution it's pretty bad, I think. Lysandra in Dark Souls 2 tries to pull off a trick on you that's similar to a minute chest. Lysandra appears to be cute, pretty and lovely. She gives off a warm and comfortable feelings too. Turns out she's evil, and she took a fashion advice from Ravelord Nito. I like this idea. It's simple, but I like it. But here's the problem. They spoiled it. Too early. There is a painting of her, and it's not too far from Lysandra herself. If you step too close to it, you start getting cursed. This is just my opinion here, but I think it's clear that From Software is trying to tell me a message. An important message that Lysandra is evil! She's not what she appears to be! It ruins the moment. First time I approached the painting and I saw the cursed meter, I went, yeah, she's bad. So bad. Evil. Definitely evil. Imagine if they did that with a mimic chest. Oh no! This chest is giving me a curse! I bet it's a bad chest. The surprise would have been ruined. Or if you get close enough to Guinevere's chest, she starts fading in and out. Her chest was fake! No! You understand where I'm coming from. Those moments would be spoiled. To me, it feels like FromSoft just threw this into the game and they didn't think much of it. Now, personally, these are some of the ideas I thought of that may have worked better. Blood on the painting. If you attack the painting, it rips. If you use pyromancy, you can burn it. I want to stress this. I love the idea of using the painting to hint at Lysandra's true intentions. But getting cursed? Really? It's just so obvious. I don't want to sound too mean. I do like how curse is linked to the boss fight itself. That's cute. I love the connection. Plus, Lysandra, she's hella cute. I just wish that FromSoft tried a different approach with her painting. Oh, before I forget, in the true version of Dark Souls 2, this is a thing. It looks like a bonfire, but then, boop! It's a boss. Yay? Thinking face emoji? With Dark Souls 3, you have your minute chests and your illusionary walls, you know, standard stuff. There isn't much to talk about. It's the third game of the series. There's only so much you can add or expand. But there was one thing I really loved, and that's the first boss fight, which also caught me off guard. Gundyr. Looks like a knight, I've seen plenty of those before, but then, gross, turns into a monster. But overall, Dark Souls 3 has its own goals and aims to achieve. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be filled with illusions like the first one. This isn't a Souls game, it's a Born. However, it does something unique with illusions. It takes it and turns it into a stat. plus currency too for a shop. It's called insight. The more you have, the more you see of the world. It does affect your gameplay. The stat matters. I only wish there was more to it. This chart from the wiki page tells you how insight affects you depending on how much you have. Okay, emotionally, hearing a baby cry makes me wonder if life is worth living. The theme of the hunter's dream changing, powerful stuff. Emotionally, my heart's broken, but from a gameplay point of view, they could have added more. Listen, I'm being super petty here. What they have made is great, and I love it. Insight as a mechanic is interesting. Just a suggestion though, maybe when you have a high amount, a super secret area is opened, or a boss will appear. Just ideas. Please don't hurt me. Now, let us talk about Demon Souls. I will be going into more detail with this game. I love this game so much. I have a very soft spot for it in my heart. I want to spend more time with it. I feel like it's underappreciated, so I want to give it more attention. Demon Souls did the illusion thing first, and perhaps even better than Dark Souls. So, let's talk about it. Some of the bosses are embedded in illusions, such as the Phalanx. Phalanx is a boss with add-ons, and I love it. The fight starts and whoa! Look how many add-ons there are! There's so many of them! Where is my panic button? However, once you've dealt with all the add-ons, the boss itself doesn't even attack. This is so smart. The boss itself is trying to insert fear into you, trying to make you panic. By panicking, you are more likely to make mistakes, more likely to die. Once you realize this, you can focus and plan ahead. It's like Phalanx fears you and has little add-ons to protect itself, to try to scare you. How cute is that? It's adorable. How about the Adjudicator? He's huge! He's a big boy. Much bigger than Thick Boy Smooth. When you start to attack him, you do no damage. 0. However, that's because the boss itself is actually the Golden Crow on top. It's kind of cliche, it's a big guy, but it's the little one you need to focus on to beat them. Like Zeo and Carl from 1998's arcade game House of the Dead 2. Plus, knowledge kicks in too. The Adjudicator has a shield that the player can equip. This shield provides health regeneration. When facing the Adjudicator, of course you can't hurt him. The big boy is oozing with health regen, so much that he's bleeding it out of him. I will admit, the concept is better on paper, and they could have done more, but I give it a pass. It's the first Souls game. I'm going to be more forgiving. It's a great boss fight. Now the boss that takes illusions directly and sleeps with it would be the Fool's Idol. Not only does she create multiple copies of herself, but the floor is trapped. If you are fighting with haste, you will most likely find this boss fight frustrating. However, with all illusions you need to break it. You need to be patient and observant. The fake ones have mini health bars on them, but the real one does not. Furthermore, the add-ons in the boss fight look at the real idol. This is an amazing boss. Every aspect of this fight is full of deception. I love it. What about the final boss? The final hurrah? You faced a difficult journey, and now it's time to end it all. What appears before you? King Allant, who is now just a disgusting monstrosity. The story is, he used to be someone who cared for his people, and even hated demons. Then, he craved more power, and wanted to end humanity. The idea was, to save the world, you must end it. The biggest irony of it all? He turned into a demon himself. The very thing he swore to destroy. Most games make the final boss into something big or over the top as a way to make it memorable, but not Demon Souls. This took me by surprise. This is just sad. Really, really sad. Alant was a great person. He was beloved. But he believed ending the world would create peace. This begs the question, if you were in his situation, what would you do? It's very difficult for me to empathize with him. I would never trust myself with that power. Having power is scary. However, I feel sadness in my heart. He was a good person. He was scared. He wanted to end the suffering and the pain of his people. Was he wrong, or was he right? In the end, it does not matter, because the player has the last say. Whew, now this is the big one. This is what I love the most about Demon Souls. The game puts an impression on you. You are the hero of the story. The world is going to end. It's your job to save it. You will face horrible demons, but it's your destiny. The hero's destiny. The intro cutscene to the game is like a fantasy story of a hero facing demons. Now, what if I told you there's quite a bit of evidence to suggest you are no hero? You are a vile demon! A disgusting monster! The first piece of evidence focuses on invasions. Yes, they shut down the servers, but we should not forget about it. If you successfully kill a player from another world, this appears.
Target was destroyed. You've taken a human soul. What a superb demon.
How interesting. That's very sneaky, but it makes sense. You are the only one who is strong enough to take down other demons. I guess a human could do that, maybe? Well, I am a human, a tiny worthless femboy. Maybe if I grew at them, I could best the demons. Second thought, scratch that. I'm too much of a coward. I'd rather stay at home and cuddle with Gwyndolin. But my point still stands. Can a human take on demons that are super powerful? Alright, it's only an invasion thing. If you do not invade, you cannot now rip servers, you will not be branded as a demon. However, there's a situation in the game that questions your real intentions. I am referring to Maiden Estrella and her beloved gal Vinland. There's a lot to cover here. Brace yourselves. When you enter the boss area, immediately you notice her appearance and her voice. She is beautiful, soft-spoken, gentle, and sweet. She is a demon that must be slayed. Wait, that's not right. It can't be. There must be a mistake. She can't be a demon. How about Vinland? He looks like a knight with honor. He's a hero. Surely there must be a mistake. The sad truth is that she is a demon. It's said that she uses her power to help those who are in misery. I have to say that her voice lines really break my heart. They rip me to pieces. How can I hurt such a gentle soul? You are the hero. Yet you have to kill a maiden who wants nothing more but to help those in need. Her goals are selfless. She does you no harm. You must fight Vinland. If you pass him and go straight for Australia, she cries in pain. Only a true demon has intentions to hurt a maiden. Listen to her cries of pain. Listen well, you filthy, vile demon!
Stop. Please stop. This is our home. We have done no harm to you. Dear God, have mercy. Is not your abandonment of us punishment enough? How long must we weather this cruel fate? Dear Lord, you are too cruel. You have abandoned us. Is that not punishment enough?
And you call yourself a hero? You disgust me. Wait, have you noticed it? Those who are suffering, they're bowing down to her, worshipping her. Wait, she's meant to help them. It questions Astrea's intentions. Does she really want to help them? Or does she crave power? She is a demon after all. If you were to ask me, I personally think she did have good intentions, but the power she possesses has twisted her. I think she does not realize it. She's blinded to what's happening. Perhaps she truly is a demon, who corrupts those in need. Perhaps slaying her is for the greater good. Regardless, I think she is a very strong woman. To travel into the vilest parts of the world, and to help those who need it, I do not think most of us would do that. It's very admirable. She inspires me to try and do good, to help others. We must not forget about Gwyndolin. He has a very interesting voice line.
I shall let no harm come to dearest Astrea. May you rot in the deepest depths of this swamp. You will not turn back, will you? How dare you persist in intruding upon our haven? You abandoned us long ago. What right do you have? We live humble lives. Leave us be. Plunge to your death. And let the acid melt the flesh from your bones. Ye covetous ones, let it be known. We shall defend our hearth and home to the death. Dearest Astrea, I have failed you.
You abandoned us a long time ago. What right do you have? This simple line has so much weight. It questions who the player character is. You know them both, yet you don't know them at all. Does the player character not remember? Or do they choose not to intentionally, since the player has abandoned them? Perhaps the player character should rot in the deepest depths of this swamp. Like, you have invaded their home. Who does that? Who goes into someone's home just to slay them? A demon. That's who. Kind of reminds me of a situation with an undead who invades a home in Anor and then kills a princess. The whole boss fight is just fantastic. It's one of those moments where it changed my perspective of who my character was. Each progress I made in Demon Souls, it made me feel like a hero in those fantasy books. The moment I saw Astrea, my heart froze and I knew something was not right. I felt uneasy, uncomfortable. I did not want to harm them. I wanted to go back, but I could not. I had to slay the demon. This boss fight goes far and beyond. It questions what a demon is. It questions who you really are. The answers are not obvious. You must determine yourself who is what. When it comes to illusions and perspective, this is up there with Gwyndolin. I adore this boss so much. In my eyes, it's one of the best bosses in the whole series. Furthermore, in my eyes, it takes a cake when it comes to the story of the player character. With very little dialogue, there's a lot to consider who your player really is. One last note, look at the endings. Why would there be an evil ending? Aren't you supposed to be the hero? Before I move on, I want to share one more story. My best friend pushed me to play Demon Souls a lot. She's one of the few people who played it before Dark Souls came out. She told me it's far from perfect, but it's a game worth playing. Thanks to her, I played it. Demon Souls achieved so much, and my experience with it was breathtaking. FromSoft knew fully well what they were doing. Mostly. Something I loved from Dark Souls was in Demon Souls. If it were not for Demon Souls, I really think that Dark Souls would not have been what it was. It's why I hold it in such high regards, and why I have a soft spot for it. if you adore Dark Souls, please check out Demon Souls. There you have it. That was Dark Souls and the theme of illusion. I hope you enjoyed listening. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Maybe there's an example you experienced that you can relate to. Maybe you disagree with me. I hope this sparks more discussion around Dark Souls. In the end, this is just my opinion. I am simply sharing my thoughts on the video game I love. For reals, I'm going to say my hella goodbyes. I must admit that these discussion type videos are interesting to make. It's new to me. Plus, I'm a shy person. I don't like talking. I was so nervous making this. I prefer to make stupid, silly, goofy live-action parodies. This fanboy loves acting, not speaking. To tell you the truth, I wanted to make this video back in 2013. This was meant to be my first video on YouTube. Due to my situation at the time, it would have been difficult for me to make. 2013 was a wild time for me. However, I made it now. Some people may say, better late than never. Also, massive love goes to Xenoblob, who made the thumbnail and outro for this video. Please support them, links in the description. And massive love goes to Veselekov for previewing my video. His links are in the description as well. Anywho, this worthless fanboy is signing off. Peace out. Oh yeah, did I tell you? Gwyndolin is my husband! Oh my god, I love that man!